What if you were told that you could not put a square of milk, dark, or white chocolate into that begging, lonesome mouth of yours until you
How the
learned
sweet
that the world consumes 3 million tons of yearly is made? Don't worry, fellow chocolate lovers. We're here to tell you all about it, from the tree to the treat. We often think of chocolate as a dessert, but get this, chocolate and your veggies may not be so different after all. This tasty sweet is high in antioxidants such as polyphenols and flavonoids, making you better equipped to fight those darn diseases. But wait! Veggies aren't the only greens that are similar to chocolate. Get this! Chocolate has similar chemical compounds to cannabinoids. And yes, you guessed it. Cannabinoids have a very similar effect to cannabis, aka marijuana. Cannabis contains a chemical called THC, which binds to receptors in the brain, resulting in the consumer feeling high. You know what else is dope? Dopamine. This is a neurotransmitter with a similar effect to THC, but in chocolate. Its production is brought on by certain chemicals in chocolate. One such chemical is anandamine, which actually already exists in your brain. We just don't feel the effects because it is broken down quickly and it only exists in certain places. Another chemical chocolate has? Yep, a lot of chemicals, my friends. Phenylethylamine, which makes a person more alert, speeding up their pulse with a similar effect to caffeine. This is why we all can't stay away from such a tempting treat, why it is even tempting in the first place. Also, consuming chocolate results in the production of opiates, chemicals that cause happiness in our brains. One experiment showed that when the brain's receptors that alert the brain when there are opiates was blocked, people consumed less. And there's chocolate. More. Limited amounts of chocolate can be beneficial to maintaining a healthy blood pressure and low cholesterol to avoid the clogging of arteries, aka atherosclerosis. And also, some recent tests show that chocolate may even strengthen those muscles of our brain. So we're all left with 2 questions. 1, why eat anything besides chocolate? And 2, what is the history of such an ingenious food and beverage? For now, let's answer the second one. Cocoa, often found in Central and South America, can be dated all the way back to 1900 BCE, or as we like to say, beginning of chocolate era. Largely produced in countries such as Ghana and Indonesia, cocoa grows on tropical evergreens, known as pods grow on these trees, and each contain 20 to 60 seeds when ripe. One can tell when the pods are ripe because of their simply magnificent shade of orange. Cocoa plants need shade as well as frequent rainfall and high temperatures. The total harvesting time is roughly 6 months, so growing cocoa sure does take some patience and passion. You can't have a smidgen of... Oh! Hold up a second and a half. Smidgen? That reminds me of midges. That reminds me of the cocoa tree's mutualistic relationship, one of several types of symbiotic relationships. Mutualistic relationship is one in which all parties benefit. In this case, the cocoa trees have a mutualistic relationship with the midges, a type of fly which pollinate the tree's flowers. They are responsible for their reproduction, and in return, the midges receive a place to live. Small pods produced by the tree. This dandy topic, you'd be sad to know that cocoa trees cannot grow in the U.S. because there are not the right flies. Cocoa trees also have a mutualistic relationship with those little squirts that eat bananas. Yes, you guessed it, monkeys. The monkeys take their pods and attempt to eat them, but spit them out because they are too sour, planting more cocoa trees throughout the forest. Who doesn't love monkeys? It's too bad they can't be kept as pets, but you can have dogs as pets. Speaking of dogs... Quick sidebar. Have you ever wondered why you're not supposed to feed your dog chocolate? This is why. Chocolate can make dogs sick or even kill them. In chocolate, there's a thing called theobromine, a similar word to the tree on which cocoa pods grow, theobroma. Theobromine relaxes the smooth muscles in our body, such as the bronchi in our lungs. This caffeine molecule is part of the methylxanthine family. This methylxanthine fam can be found in over 60 types of plants. Back to theobromine, though. Its name is quite deceiving because it is no bro of mine or yours, and especially not dogs. Okay, we may have lied a little for the sake of a pun. It is not that dangerous to us because we have faster metabolism. But for our pups, on the other hand, their heart, nervous system, and kidneys suffer. The effects that chocolate has on dogs depends on the amount and type of chocolate and the size of dogs. Some dogs may have seizures, vomit, or just get nauseous. And when it worsens, one way to help your dog is to force it to vomit that chocolate up. You can also give the dog activated charcoal that will help absorb the methylxanthines. All in all, your dog should wolf away from anything chocolate. Anyhow, back to the process. Step 1. The seed pods are collected. Step 2. The cocoa beans are cleaned to ensure that there are no unwanted materials. Step 3. The pods are split open and peekaboo, Kalamazoo, the beans are found within. Step 4. The beans go through some classy old fermentation when a substance chemically breaks down with the help of microorganisms such as yeast. The beans in wide trays are covered with banana leaves for 4 to 6 days. The tightness of the packaging of the pulpy beans is quite important. If they are in close proximity, a lactic acid fermentation is more suitable. If the beans are well spread out, a fermentation by yeast and acetic acid bacteria is favorable. The beans are then heated by the sun, resulting in the breakdown and liquefying of the pulp, and eventually the pulp draining away. The seeds die because of the acid and alcohol that is generated during fermentation. The color of the beans and taste changes. Step 5. The beans are dried in that radiant sun and shipped to manufacturers. Once the manufacturer receives the cocoa beans, there are only a few more quick steps to creating the gem, the jewel, the gift of chocolate. Step 1. The beans are roasted in order to extract flavor. The temperature, time, and degree of moisture are determined by the type of bean. Step 2. The nibs are ground to form a cocoa liqueur. Step 3. Cocoa butter is extracted by a press from the liqueur, resulting in a cocoa press cake. Step 4. The cocoa is either left alone, or if it is made into a chocolate bar, sugar and other ingredients are added to make the sugary, sweet, delicious chocolate bars that we see in grocery stores. Step 5. Conching, which is similar to kneading. The amount of time and temperature affects the taste of the chocolate. At the Hershey's factory, they do up to 72 hours of conching, and that is why their bars are so smooth and delicious. Step 6. The glorious chocolate is then tempered, heated, cooled, reheated, molded, cooled, packaged, and distributed to your grocery stores, your kitchens, and eventually your stomachs. Before you go resume your chocolate-driven lives, remember it can all be chalked up to a couple basic vocabulary words. Mutualistic relationship. Both living things in a relationship are benefiting, in this case, midges and cocoa trees. Fermentation, the process that extracts the pulp from cocoa beans. Conching, the equivalent of kneading but used for cocoa. Now, whenever you reach for that chocolate bar in your kitchen, think of us. Thanks for watching Chocolate, from the Tree to the Treat.